Welcome to ELT Bhashkar. Subscribe the channel for watching more such interesting videos on English-based grammar and language skills. Dear students, today we are going to deal with noun or phrase in apposition. So what is this noun or phrase in apposition? Well, you must be aware of what appositives are. Yes, students, these appositives are noun phrases, or when noun phrase a noun or a noun phrase, usually noun phrase, renames the noun next to it or preceding that noun phrase is known as appositive. And when noun or noun phrases are placed side by side, the one which renames the other is known as appositive. Well, you may be a little confused. Let's take some examples. So we will here deal with a number of appositives which will add information or which will add meaning to make the sentence very rich. The novel War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy is a classic in world literature. Rabindranath Tagore, the greatest poet of the modern world, was a Bengali. Alexander, the king of Macedon, invaded India. My friend Rohan qualified the first round of screening for NDA. Taj Mahal, the most beautiful mausoleum, was built by Shah Jahan in memory of his wife Mumtaz Mahal. Dear students, do you find each of these sentences containing some phrases, a phrase which is highlighted with reading? Yes, these phrases are known as appositives. So why are we calling this appositives? Yes, we are calling this appositive because they are adding some information to the preceding noun or noun phrase or the noun phrase just next to it. So when we add some specific information to a preceding noun or the noun or noun phrase next to it, we call that an appositive. Dear students, appositives are of two kinds. One is non-essential appositive and the other one is essential. In case of non-essential appositive, dear students, we generally add extra information to the noun or the pronoun or noun phrase, preceding it or next to it. And it is usually, please keep that in mind, it is usually separated by commas. In case of non-essential appositive, we don't use any commas, or this kind of appositives are not separated by commas and adds essential information to the noun or the pronoun or noun phrase that comes before it or after it. So in this case, in case of essential information, we cannot do away with this appositive, but in case of non-essential appositive, we can remove it and still the sentence will continue to have a complete sense. Let's see how. Now let's consider one sentence. The boy, an avid sprinter, raced ahead to the finish line. Now, do you find that there is an appositive? Yes, the highlighted part with reading is an appositive. Now this appositive, isn't it adding some information, some extra information, more specific to say, to the sentence? The boy, an avid sprinter, raced ahead to the finish line. So if you consider the sentence without this appositive, the sentence would still continue to have a complete meaning. How? The boy raced ahead to the finish line. So without this information, the sentence still conveys a meaning, and adding this appositive, it just adds extra information, isn't it so? And therefore we are calling it non-essential appositive. Now let's consider sentence 2, where we find the newspaper The Times of India first appeared in the year 1838. So here we don't find any commas, first of all, which we have found in the previous case. And you see, if we don't use this phrase, this appositive, the Times of India, the sentence would not convey complete sense. How? The newspaper first appeared in the year 1838. So which newspaper are we referring to? that is not clear. So without this appositive, the sentence would not continue to have complete sense. So therefore, there are two kinds of appositives. One we are calling as non-essential appositive, and the other one as essential appositive. So in case of non-essential appositive, I hope the understanding is clear to you, and essential appositive is also clear to you. Now we'll move on to a definition of apposition. So apposition is an arrangement of words where we can find appositives which add extra information to the noun preceding it, or noun phrase next to it. And yes, definitely pronoun is also used in case of noun sometimes. So apposition is an arrangement of words in which a noun or pronoun or a noun phrase is followed by another noun or noun phrase. So this is just an arrangement, okay, where a noun or a pronoun or noun phrase is followed by another noun or noun phrase, and one of these noun phrases add extra information to the preceding noun or noun phrase or a pronoun, or a noun or a noun phrase or a pronoun next to it. So this arrangement is made for the sake of making the sentence rich with information, as I said before. In case of essential appositives, dear students, we need not use any comma, but in case of non-essential appositives, we use comma to add extra information, okay, and without this appositive, the sentence would still continue to have a meaning, okay. So non-essential appositives, as the name goes by, had its meaning in the very name, okay. Now we will see what are the position of appositives. So is it that appositives will only come in the beginning of the sentence, or just after a noun or noun phrase? Let's see. So in this example, we find Princess September, the daughter of the King Siam, was very unhappy. So here the noun phrase or the appositive is the part which is highlighted with red ink. Which one? Yes, the daughter of the King Siam, and that is referring to, or that is adding extra information to Princess September. So Princess September has been added extra information with the help of this appositive, that is the daughter of the King Siam. So therefore we are calling it non-essential, and we can also find it is separated by commas. After Princess September there is a comma, and after this appositive there is a comma. So in the previous sentence we find the appositive in the middle of the sentence. Now here we find the appositive, an enormous man with great strength, in the beginning of the sentence. So appositive can also begin in the also have its place in the beginning of the sentence. So here this is adding some extra information to the noun next to it, that is Henry, a proper noun. So an enormous man with great strength, Henry, was able to carry the entire pallet of bricks by himself. So even if we don't use this appositive, the sentence would still continue to have a meaning, that is Henry was able to carry the entire pallet of bricks. So adding this extra information is just an additional one. So therefore it is again a non-essential appositive. In this sentence we find the appositive, the city of joy, in the middle of the sentence. So I was born in Kolkata, the city of joy, and I have been living here for the last 20 years. So even without this appositive, the sentence still conveys a meaning, okay. So I was born in Kolkata and I have been living here for the last 20 years. So adding this appositive only adds extra information, okay. So again this is an example of non-essential appositive. So another position that is at the end of the sentence. How the bed was placed beside the bookshelf, a large piece of furniture. So the bookshelf is given an extra information. We come to know about the bookshelf, which is a large piece of information. Sorry, large piece of furniture. So here again we find an extra information in the form of appositive. Again, this is known as non-essential appositive. Now we'll quickly look at the applications of what we have learned. So if we are asked to join these two sentences, okay, join two sentences into a single one, how will we do with the help of appositive? Let's see. My sister is Rina. She is 19 years old. My sister Rina is 19 years old. So what kind of appositive is this? Essential or non-essential? Well, if we remove it, my sister is 19 years old, the sentence doesn't convey complete sense, because we are not talking about which sister. Okay, so maybe there are a number of sisters, maybe I have 2 or 3 sisters, but I'm not talking about I'm not taking their name, so therefore it is uncertain. So my sister Rina is 19 years old. So Rina is the appositive here, the essential one. My mom is a nurse. She drives a red Scooty. So my mom, a nurse, drives a red Scooty. So even if we don't use a nurse, the appositive here, the sentence will still have a meaning. My mom drives a red Scooty. Isn't it so? Yes. Summer has a dog. He calls it Jimmy. Summer has a dog, Jimmy. So Jimmy is the name of the dog. The girl is an athlete. She fought with the robbers quite bravely. So the girl, an athlete, fought with the robbers quite bravely. So both the uses of essential and non-essential appositives are showed here. Okay, and I hope the understanding of essential and non-essential appositives or appositives in general is clear to you now. If not, watch the video again to make your understanding a concrete one. Thank you for watching the video. Stay tuned to my channel. Like and subscribe, and do hit the bell icon for getting notifications about my new videos. Thank you.